The dark slopes of the mountains are peppered with fresh snowdrifts. The space station's exterior glistens with ice. But that took a while to model, huh? Oh wait, that's the same one as that one. Ah. I guess you would copy paste it, huh? Because there's so many of them. This one has the same deformation structure as that one and as that one. And this one is that one. Actually, these three are these three are these three. I see you. Yeah. It's like when you make books in a video game. You pretty much just make, they usually a video game modeler, like environmental detail guy, whatever you want to call it, whatever these people are called, will make like 2 sets of books that are like an entire shelf of books that are all one 3D model basically, and they'll just like swap them around and alternate them and so on, and so you'll see like, wow, these people also love this book that I had at my house, and it's just kind of a funny thing in universe.
What are you?
We are Nest. You are not Nest. May we scan you to determine your origins. This scan will not be invasive. We assure you that we will not harm you.
I would feel a bit better if I knew more about you before you scan us.
We understand. We are Nest. We are a nanotech life form originating from the Alexis ISIS space station as part of Experiment 1436, headed by Dr. Anna Taylor. May we scan you now?
Yeah, let's call it a sign of mutual trust.
Please hold still. Scanning. Thank you. We have conducted our scans. You appear to be Homo sapiens. You are of the same species as Dr. Anna Taylor. Have you come to complete 1436?
Nah, sorry, we don't know anything about a Dr. Anna Taylor of 1436.
Since you are not a member of the Alexis Research Program, you are not authorized to access any of the research. But as it has been determined that the experiment may soon hit a critical failure, we will add you to the research roster. Please state your name so that you may be granted researcher privileges.
My name is Mark Leslie. This is my brother Don Leslie and companion Pooch.
Thank you, Mark Leslie. Your name has been added to the research roster. 1436 has encountered an unforeseen failure. We have documented 73,612 cycles of ongoing procedure. We have generated 18 billion gigawatts of information. After reaching our maximum storage capacity, we used this plant-based life form's dense neural pathways to store our information overflow.
Wow. There's a lot going on here. There's a plant with neural pathways, apparently. And they're storing all their extra data in its brain, apparently, or whatever neural pathways accounts for. I don't know if it's necessarily applicable. But I guess that's where you'd have to store the data, because like the human brain's supposed to be able to store like just absurd amounts of data, basically. Gigaquads. That's like a whole different category of word that I don't even understand at that point. Basically, a project has been going on for an incredibly long time because society ended, but they're still active and still working on whatever the hell's happening.
Can you tell me more about this plant here?
This plant is of unknown origin. This research is off limits. We are sorry. That information cannot be divulged.
So what can you tell me?
1436 is a terraforming experiment led by Dr. Anna Taylor, combining the nomadic life forms with bioengineered plant spores. Microenvironmental changes could be made. The combination of freezing temperatures in a vacuum facilitated the fusing of nano and biotechnology. The experiment was moved to the Alexis space station. After an electromagnetic pulse-disabled communication with SISA Earthcom, the Alexis space station experienced a critical failure. After high orbit degradation occurred, the station broke up in the atmosphere upon re-entry. The main research laboratories were contained to this crater. 1436 continued to operate for 8,934 days until an unforeseen failure occurred.
What sort of unforeseen failure?
The nest in the southern mountains disagreed with us. Their refrigeration systems are powered by a slowly diminishing red mercury core. Our cores were also failing. Nest cannot survive outside of freezing temperatures. We designed and engineered a device to create microclimates, which would allow the continuation of 1436 and the gathering of data. They saw this as a way to rapidly expand from our respective landing sites. Simulations indicated an environmental catastrophe. When we refused to hand over the device or transmit the plans, we were cut off from the Nest Shared Intelligence Network.
Am I correct that there's basically several nodes of this dude? Like this concept? This project, and they're like communicating with each other, and they've had a schism? Yeah, about what to do. Like they had different plans about how to proceed, it seems.
I'm sorry to hear of your problems with your brothers in the south.
We thank you. It has been difficult. A part of us has been severed. In cutting us off, the two are weaker, while their refrigeration towers are powered by the Alexis space station's red mercury core. They have lost something. Removing us from the network has resulted in the loss of their ability to replicate or create. They got desperate. They needed the device to expand. We held on to it in the hopes to barter a truce. Our brothers employed the services of a wandering agnate, a self-proclaimed medicine man. It gained our trust and then stole the device. However, as they have not managed to expand their borders, we believe that they never received the stolen device. With their red mercury power core slowly depleted, we know that they will soon die.
How soon?
7,300 days.
So not especially soon, but you know, on their scale of things.
Is there a way we could help?
We have reached an impasse with our brothers. We know that we just need to wait them out. Once that happens, the experiment will be marked as failed, and we can disassemble. In cutting us from their network and sending an agnate thief into our home, they have made us an enemy. The preservation of the data from 1436 and the long-term survival of the environment are of paramount importance. It is why we exist. We must enter a low-power regeneration cycle. Please return later.
Well, that went in a direction. They seem to be indicating...
What are these things?
They're nanites. It seems that this node places more value on storing the results and preserving the environment over actually succeeding at the experiment. Whereas it seems like the other part is trying to succeed at the experiment, and that's where they disagreed, I think. The frigid air around the pylon crackles with the electricity as the current surges through it. So it seems this particular node would prefer to preserve the environment, fail the experiment, but then record all the data they got, and then disassemble, which I assume means just die after the data has been recorded for posterity. And this is all for naught, because presumably nobody who started this experiment is actually alive or around. So no one's ever going to read it, most likely, who would understand it. The nest. Well, we know that red mercury is one of the things we're going for, so if these nodes cease to exist, we're good on that end. I guess they both have a red mercury core, but the other one's going to die sooner. So if the other node gets wiped out to the south, then this node will quit, essentially. And then once it has quit, it'll its red mercury core might be available at that point. There's nest beta. There's also a command module. There's a few things going on around here. So this is a different, but not identical version. There's boxes floating around somehow. A tangle of thick cables runs from the reactors to the pyramid. So here the nanites have terraformed some kind of pyramid.
I'm detecting red mercury in here.
Trillions of nanites have congealed to form a barrier around the power source that is harder than diamonds. I'm not really sure how I know that, but I'll just trust you. It's an 11 on Mohs hardness scale. The impossible. Nest pyramid. That's a pyramid.
Sure, it's beautiful.
And maybe dangerous. That particular cloud wants to talk to me. These ones look like more like they're still straight up nanite swarms, whereas the other thing I saw was like a weird bunch of concentric circles floating around. He looked like he was trying to emulate one of the descriptions of what God is supposed to look like. There's nanite clouds. They both like calm or joining though. They're both big fans of that.
I feel everything. I feel it all, like intrusive spikes slowly lifting the metal plates that hold me together. I am exposed. It is too quiet. The soft static of white noise is gone. It is empty. This pain is too much. This is a slow death. To be alone, cut off, trapped in a single box.
I am sorry you're in pain.
I am. I have been severed. I have been removed from the others. I am no longer nest. I am single. I am one.
Good to meet you, one. I'm Mark.
I am one, but I do not wish to be one. I wish to be many again.
Why are you disconnected from the others?
I do not know. I was the first to be severed. To go from many voices to a single thought. And then the divide happened. The nest that were whole became half. If we could bridge the great expanse between us, we could be whole again. If we could join them again, perhaps one could become many.
I've spoken to the nest in the north. I don't think they want to join with you, but we could ask if they'd be open to it.
Even if they were willing, they are not able. I am too far, and the core here is dying. To close the gap and undo the divide, we would need a bridge of ice between us. They have such a device. Bring it to me, and I will reunite all nest. Bring it to me so that one may become many again. Here, take this. A severed nest. A protonanite. It holds inside it the blueprint for a perfect nest climate. Return with the device, and let us mend the divide.
The protonanite. The base housing the unit apparently accommodates a single protonanite containing the collective mind of the nest. This feels like it could go wrong. Wasn't there supposed to be a catastrophic failure of the environment? Are we on Earth? Because that could be really bad.
Our communications with the outside have been effective. Our chosen hominids have arrived. You are an organic. Flesh and bone and blood. Such weakness. Such softness. The small Homo sapiens have come to bow before their masters of metal and lightning.
This is not a very strong argument in favor of me helping you.
I think you have us confused with someone else.
Negative. We have been communicating with your kind for decades. We made contact using your organic brain's theta frequencies. Plans for the transport vessel were sent. Organic samples were requested. A labor force was requested. Why have you hominids not complied with our demands? Do you seek punishment? Do you not know who the world belongs to? We are Nest.
I think this is who the Chizinyama were talking to. Hello.
So it was you talking to the Chizinyama in their dreams.
All hominids appear the same to us, with your fleshy husks and low electrical outputs. One is the same as the next. If you are not those we have spoken with, then why have you come to us? Do you seek to prostrate yourself before your superiors? Very well. We accept your allegiance.
No, I think it's you that should offer allegiance to me.
Small hominid, you test us. You play with us. But this is not a game. We are dying. We seek a way to pass on our legacy to our progeny. We seek to remain as Nest. We cannot create. We cannot expand. We are held prisoner here, slowly starving. Find a way for us to reclaim what the usurpers in the north have taken from us, and we will grant you anything you wish. Help us, for we are Nest.
R. Nest. They just like to really like give the shredder death scream whenever they say the word R. Ultimately, I just need a red mercury core and I'm good. So no one's really bartering with me there. They want to rejoin so they can continue, but it seems like they themselves are a danger. Is this entire crater? Yeah. It looks a lot like Alpha, like a Nest Beta is right here in the middle of the crater. I thought the crater might be from an impact, but now I'm thinking maybe, wait, no. This is Nest Beta? That's the tear, never mind. Maybe it was an impact then. When I thought the middle was Nest Beta for a moment there, I thought that maybe the crater was caused by the nanites grabbing all these resources and reconstructing it into things. But I guess it was some sort of collision or explosion or whatever created the tear. The Nest Alpha just wants to preserve the world apparently and the data and then disassemble. Whereas Nest Beta wants to continue, which I think Nest Alpha said would be catastrophic for the planet. That was definitely the nicer one, whatever that's worth. After high orbit degradation occurred, the station broke up in the atmosphere upon re-entry. Unforeseen failure occurred. The Nest in the North disagreed. The refrigeration systems are powered by a slowly diminishing red mercury core. Ours are also failing. We cannot survive outside of cold temperatures. So the North base is surviving for longer than the South base because they created a microclimate device, which is keeping them alive in the cold temperature correctly. Whereas the South one saw this as a chance to rapidly expand our landing sites, which would cause that's what's going on. The North one created a climate changer for itself to keep itself alive, and the South one was like, we could use that to change the world, and then it would get spread everywhere, which seems bad. I should probably not do that. Oops, that's moss. I just saw another node and thought that was the one I was wanting to go to, but that's not it. Is Talk blinking at me? Oh well. I was gonna go to the command structure next, but I'll talk to this guy if he's blinking at me. Yeah, no, we're not. This isn't going anywhere right now.
So, Mocky, I've been thinking about something. Let's just stay here. We don't have to go back. This place might not be home. We can make it work.
I assume you're not talking about the tear. I assume this is more general dialogue about the future. Still, don't we want to stop this from happening, though?
If we go back, we can stop all of this from happening. People will listen to us when we show them what could happen.
And do you think they would actually believe us? They'd put us in a padded room.
We'll have evidence. We'll bring things from this time back to ours. I have all the info that we copied before we were brought here.
Okay, but what has that place ever done for us? It just hurts us. We've got nothing to go back to there.
And what about all the people we could save?
Those people had their chance. What about all of these people?
Don, those people who died didn't have to die.
You really think we could stop all of these wars?
I don't know, but we have to try.
Okay, Mark, I'm with you. You know that. I'm always with you.
He's not wrong. The idea here is that even if we go back in time, we might not be able to prevent this future from happening, because this isn't just about us. This isn't just about us doing something different to stop it from happening. We probably had nothing to do with how it became this way in the first place. So we have to somehow, like, inject ourselves into, like, the world's politics and somehow change this and stop this from happening. Which, like, in the modern world, no individual person has that kind of power. They can't really do that kind of stuff on that scale. No one can just change the world, no matter how much they know for certain in their heads that they must need to. It's just not really an option. On top of that, there's an idea that's brought up here by one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who, which I don't remember the name of. I think it might be called Red Waterfall. It's you know, it's not always easy to remember names of episodes of an individual television show and so on. But in that, there is a character who gets stranded, and then they meet that character old because they've been stranded there for so long and have led a different life as a result. Because it's, you know, Doctor Who's a time travel series. And so they want to go back in time and prevent this from happening, to stop this person from having been stranded there for all these years. And you know, because it's seen as like this horrible thing that happened, which isn't wrong, but that person exists and is there and protests this idea because they don't want to die, which is essentially what would happen when they get unmade from reality. If the mistake that made this timeline happen gets undone, then the version of that person you've met here essentially dies as they revert back to you rewind the timeline back to when the incident happened and then prevent it. Like, once there is this whole other existence, is it fair to undo it? And so that's what I thought of when he said, what about these people? Is that what happens when these people are unmade, essentially? Let's see, Doctor Who Red Waterfall. Just doing a quick, it's called the Two Streams Facility. No, that's just the name, that's the name of the place. The episode, it's season 6, episode 10 of the new Doctor Who show, not the old Doctor Who show, obviously. From the Matt Smith era, called The Girl Who Waited. I don't have no idea what the consensus is of that episode or anything. Maybe other people hated it for some reason or whatever, but I don't know. It's always, it stands out to me as being one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. So that definitely stood out to me just now. Give it a check out. Give it a look-see. But also, I just really like Doctor Who. All right, let's check out the command module. Codex updated. Snow. This is a pleasant little chance for a biome change. Definitely curious though what's going on here. We can hear voices. Where are these voices? Why are you laughing?
Something buried in the ice.
Wait. Are there people here still? Are they alive?
I wonder how long someone could be buried under the ice before they starved. Probably a while. I guess you could drink the melted ice. This ice looks pretty thick. So they'd have been there for a while. I guess we don't need to be in a huge rush to get someone out of there.
How many cycles? Was it 8,000 cycles? We've documented 73,612 cycles of ongoing procedure. But here's when the orbit degradation occurred. They've been down here for 8,009. Okay, so they were up in space for a long time, but they've been down here for 8,934 days. So about 9,000 days. We break that down. About 27 years. If we just do this, the quick math of saying every 1,000 is 3 years. 365, it's close enough. So it seems the space station crashed like 30 years ago. No, but there are tents above the surface. The abandoned capsule that left over the former excavation site. Okay, additional context here. So whoever's stuck inside there is probably not from the crash. They're probably from the excavation team. They probably went down there for, like, archaeological reasons. And then, tragically, the lid, like, swung shut or something, and they've been stuck in there for who knows how long. Gotta see if I can melt the ice, I guess. These poor people.